What's going on YouTube? Back at it like a crack at it. It's your host, man, Reese, aka Conundrum TV, and we back at it again with a pick and roll podcast video, man. Another episode. We staying consistent, like I said, every week. We dropping weekly. So we go ahead and I'm gonna just go ahead and introduce my co-host. We ain't gonna waste y'all time, man. First off, we got Dezo in the building, man. Dez, say what's good to the people.
Yo, what's going on with y'all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got Jay in the building. You know, Jay Sports.
What's happening?
Yo. Then Boogie, man. Mike, what's good to the people? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Boogie Productions here.
Yes, sir. And last but obviously not least, man, my boy Vano. Vano, I see you with the pink rag, with the little brown and pink on the shit. You know what I'm saying? Niggas think he color coordinated this shit, man.
You feel me?
Yes, sir.
What's good with y'all, man? Free ball ain't tuning to the label.
Yes, sir, man. Last but not least, man, last guest, man, I got my boy Brian in the building, man. Kendall Brian. Yes, sir. He my boy.
That was your special guest?
Yes, sir. That was my special guest. Yes, sir. Kendall Brian
Where
in the building. Oh, he's sitting right here, but you know I got the you feel niggas can't be all in the room, so like he right here. But he right here. Whenever y'all niggas need to ask Brian a question, he gonna be right there, folks. You know he's staying with us this episode. So, but we gonna go ahead and get into it, man. How y'all feel about the Cup game, bro? I mean, you know we gonna start it off right, man. How y'all feel about the Cup tourney overall in general? I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start off with Jay. How you feel about the Cup tourney, bro?
You know what? I think it's growing on me. I feel like if we just talking about the Cup itself, I think they put it in a good spot in the tournament because it's a long season. You know, 82 games. Like it's easy to get kind of not bored per se, but just like you just go through the motions because we all wait for the playoffs, and so I feel like this is a good way to get people kind of excited about talking about basketball. It get a player something to really, I guess, get them that playoff type atmosphere earlier in the season. So I enjoyed the game. I'm enjoying the tournament so far. Yeah, I think that's the one good thing Adam Silver has did the last couple of years. So
yeah, man. Mike, man, how you feel about the in-season tourney, bro?
It grew on me like how Jay said.
Yep.
It's kind of, I like it because like it gives you something to look forward to in the season. I'll say, like, yeah, it's like we do look forward to the playoffs too much, but it's like I feel like they can add like something else. I'm not gonna lie, I really like the in-season tournament. Feel like it could be kind of like two of them, one at the beginning and one kind of like after the All-Star before playoffs, kind of like. I really like that. I'm not mad at that. But yeah, it's really like it give us to see how which teams and which like because even though we do have the standards and the rankings, the number ones, the number twos, it give us to see like okay, who finally like because there's certain teams that everybody don't start off great, so there's kind of certain teams that they want to lock in during this season tournament. So yeah. I like the plan. I like the idea. But yeah, I'm not mad at it. I really feel like they should add one more, like something else to be, so we all can look forward to. It grew on us, like how Jay said.
Yeah, man. I'm like mixed reviews about the in-season tournament. You know, since we're a newer podcast, we ain't really been able to express how we felt about it in the past and how we feel about it now. Like even when it was first starting off as just a in-season tournament, and now it's the Cup game. Like they changed the name to the Cup tournament. It's like I love when we get to the final four teams. Like once we get to the semifinals and the finals, those games be rocking. But the regular games, the games that they use to the qualifying games, not all of them games am I tuning into as if it's like a special event. It just still kind of feel like a regular season game, which I assume that's the vibe that they were going with regardless, and just give us basically like 3 to 4 good games that's like playoff atmosphere. But I feel like if they gonna have Cup games, have that intensity, they got to keep that same, I guess like that same energy in all of the Cup games as far as like the way they reffing it, the way they media covering it, the way we're talking about the game. Like every game gotta matter as much as the tournament games for me to care about the tournament as much as they want it to be perceived. Like with the way the Knicks was celebrating last night, like we was talking about it because we was up in here a watch party and me, Dez, and Vaughn. We were just saying like I'll let Dez speak more on his opinion on it, but I just know we were saying, like, do they really care about this win? As a team as good as the New York Knicks Do they care about this win? I know the 15th man give a fuck because that's doubling his salary. Yeah, he give a fuck.
Straight
I
up.
know. You feel me? Like Tyler Kolick, man, shout out boy. I know he give a fuck. He was out there playing his ass off type shit. But players like Jalen Brunson, he get the MVP, and he just grabbing the trophy like, I don't know what I'm gonna. This shit might not even go on my shelf. I'm gonna be honest. I might just put this bitch in the closet. But I think that speaks volumes of how the in-season tournament, or the cup game, I should say, the cup tournament is like advertised all the way up until the ending. Like when they make it to Vegas, that's when the games get to rocking. When we watching the games at the Vegas, the Vegas stadium. But so I got mixed reviews. I love the playoff atmosphere in the Vegas games, but outside of the Vegas games, we really pretty much don't really give a fuck that it's a cup tourney at all. To be honest with you, and I don't think the players give a fuck. But I'll let you go ahead and speak on your opinion, though, Des, because I know you have strong opinion about the Knicks winning in general, like, and how they will feel. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I got mixed reviews on it, just because we don't know if players are going to actually give their 100% in the tournament. But the thing I do like about it, though, I know you spoke on Tyler Kolek. I do think it's an opportunity for like young players to actually play for something in season, help them get ready for the playoffs and things like that, or like later down the stretch when you need those wins or whatever, it can have like those rotational players or younger players ready to kind of step up and actually provide. So I kind of see it as maybe like stepping stone for younger players to kind of be in big moments. And then also, of course, you got the money incentive with it as well. Like when players like you said, Tyler Kolek again, those players like on the end of the bench, they can when they come in, they actually coming in and playing hard. So I kind of like that, but like you did say, it kind of picks up more at the end. And then also, I just don't know. Like, do players care? It's like a big question for real because it's like it's not really the big thing, but it is a big
Can I
thing.
say
It's
something real
like,
quick?
yeah, yeah.
It remind me of like the play-in.
hmm
Like that's what it kind of remind me of, but it's like multiple games. That's kind of like
To me, it kind of like to me, I think no like hate or nothing to like the bubble, but it kind of reminds me of the bubble in a sense, just because like players like now after that it's happened, a lot of players were like, oh, do that really even count? Or you know what I'm saying? Like when that was like real hoops, you know what I'm saying? Like that was like legit hoops, which I feel like the tournament is like legit hoops. So it's like I feel like from like a fan perspective or like after it happens, a lot of people be like do it even matter? But I think this type of stuff do matter because if you're thinking about it, we throwing all the top talent in these certain pools and everything. Like, and if you make it out, like that kind of shows that you really like a legit team. I
one
feel
of
like,
them.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like even like with the bubble, everybody was there to hoop, and the team that made it out, which was the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? They showed that they can prevail through anything, you know what I'm saying, and kind of make it out. So I feel like earlier on in the season, doing something like this is kind of like I feel like it's achieving, honestly, because like most teams is like ready for the playoffs later on in the year where they didn't been through certain struggles of the season and stuff like that. But if you kind of can come through and win the in-season tournament earlier in the year, I feel like you kind of ready for the playoffs already. So that's kind of how I see it.
yeah, I like that comparison of the bubble, like, cause that's true for real. That's kind of how it go. Well, that's kind of how the atmosphere of it is. Where the players that are playing in the games and are that are competing in the games and having real back and forth with other teams and like have rivalries throughout the tournament, they
Yeah.
they care about the game. They genuinely do. You can tell by the way, you can tell the intensity, the way players are picking up 94 feet. You can tell about and when players chasing that rebound. They care. They care a lot more. It's definitely weighed heavier than a regular season game in those tournament games specifically. Once again, I'm talking about the Vegas games. That so
hmm
like it's the same difference with the bubble. Players were playing hard, but it's also this too cool for school idea that some NBA players got where it's like it doesn't fucking matter. Like, cause the
Yeah, like
last,
NBA players and
Yeah.
fans kind of had that perspective of the bubble where I feel like that was probably some of the best basketball we've seen, you know. So um it's definitely like I got mixed reviews about it, but I like it though, personally.
yeah, Vaughn, go ahead, cap this off for us, so we can go ahead and move into breaking down the actual analysts of the game, man.
I'm I'm kind of in agreement with you and Dez. Like I want to say it's dragged me into loving it, but I'm still in that mixed review because come February, January, we're not even like thinking about the play-in tournament no more. You feel me? Like I love the fact that it gives the NBA like a attempt to be fresh, but at the same time, after Christmas, we don't really care about the in-season tournament anymore. But I appreciate the fact that the regular season games do count towards. I mean, the regular season in-season tournament games count towards your regular season record. So it kind of make you play harder when you need to, because at the end of the day, even if you bullshit these games in the in-season tournament, it's gonna go towards your record and it's gonna count later on in the season. But I wouldn't say it's kind of moved me like left or right in terms of loving it or hating it. But it's cool for the moment. I think later on we realized it was cool, but end all be all, the playoffs is what really matters.
Yeah, Vaughn, I think I feel like the only way it's gonna really be the only way people are ever really gonna care about the tournament if it had like playoff implications, which that's a whole
Yeah,
different thing that you don't. I don't know if that's good to like I guess introduce when it comes to seeding wise. I feel like that's gonna open up a whole new like world that I don't know if we're ready for. You win a tournament early in the year, your best player get hurt, and now you made the playoffs anyway because of it. But I do
yeah.
like what Mike said about introducing another one, and I think if we want to really keep players like I guess motivated to play in this, you got to keep increasing the money. 500K
Oh,
is a
bread. Just throw
yeah,
it's
exactly.
money,
Man. Like you said, it's more
money
bread.
and millions.
Yeah, Tyler
No,
Kolek off the
give
bench.
him
They just
resources.
won, and we're gonna get in. Like we said, we're gonna get into the winners in the game itself. That money means more to him than it does Cat. You know what I mean? But if it's 1.5 million eventually, and the NBA keeps growing, so I don't know why they can't continue to increase that money. That they give out. 1.5 million ain't gonna change any NBA player. Any NBA player, whether it's Shea, all the way down to the bottom level guy, like
Yeah,
they don't care because the more money is going to affect. You know what I mean? So I think that's the
yeah,
only way they're going to really be able to keep the players invested and constantly invested going forward is that 500 go to 1 million, that 1 million go to two. So that's the only way I think is going to continue to be good basketball player.
Yeah, and
I'm
what the
glad you brought up.
go
My
ahead.
bad, Rick.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm glad you brought up Shay because I'm back to what Reese and Dezo was saying. Like, do people actually care? Okay, see, was pissed they lost, bro. Like they was like after they lost against the Spurs, they showed a little, frustration, you know.
For
Hmm.
sure.
So
Yeah.
it's like it's certain. I feel like it's certain teams, but we also do know OKC trying to stamp like they trying to, they trying to stamp they. You feel me? They trying to show like we big dogs, like
Right.
we trying to win everything, like
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like certain teams. It's like I feel like it's the mindset of the team. Back to what like Reese and Dezo was saying. Like I feel like it just depends on who you is. So that team, that caliber.
Yeah.
That's
For sure.
all.
We even gonna have move on to the actual cup game now though. Where the Knicks overtake the Spurs for the championship. 124-113 victory. It was a close game. Like I said, me, Dezo, and Vaughn was watch partying in the Discord last night, and we was just chopping it up about the game. And I'm just go ahead and start it off and give my thoughts on how the game went. I feel like it was a great competitive, hard battle from start to finish. For real, for real. I thought San Antonio was gonna win. I had San Antonio winning it the whole way, especially because seeing how Wemby came out so motivated and like just with so much energy against us, even though he was playing on limited minutes and minutes restriction, but playing against the Knicks, it was like he played more minutes against them. He played 25 minutes. He had a good game up until the fourth quarter. I feel like that's when he fell off, and that's when the Spurs in general fell off. They were leading the entire game. They had to lead the entire game until that fourth quarter run that the Knicks went on. Um, it was a great game. OG Anunoby kept the Knicks in it the whole way. I feel like Jalen Brunson kind of brought it home towards the ending like they normally do. Shout out Jordan Clarkson and Tyler Kolek. Both of them players are on basically minimum contracts, and both of them showed their ass. Even though it wasn't a great shooting night for either team, they still needed those big plays, those big shots, those big threes that Jordan was hitting, and those that little Steve Nash dribble that Tyler Kolek did to hit the corner three in the fourth quarter. All of those plays, all those plays added up. And I also want to give a shout out to Von Inc., Stephon Castle. Like I said, it wasn't a great shooting night for players like Stephon and those guards like Devin and all whatnot. But Stephon was playing his ass off on all levels of the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was trying to hate. I was trying to hate, but I couldn't hate. Folks was hooping. He was hooping. Like even though
it was over.
he was 5 for 15, but I promise to God though that 5 for 15 didn't seem like it because when he did,
It didn't feel like
when they needed a bucket, he would just tuck his head and get to the cup. I feel like he needs to do that more and not settle as much sometimes. for like things like just shorter floaters or like 3-pointers or ill-advised threes on the fast break. But yeah, I'm gonna let Mike go ahead talk about it. I know you seen a couple of possessions in the first half when you was talking about OG Anunoby. I'm gonna let you go ahead and deep dive on how you feel about it because you texted us and said OG was hooping. So
Yeah, OG was hooping. I believe at the time he was something crazy. Like I mean, 3 for 4 with like 10 points. So
mm-hmm.
like most of his points, like 4 of his points came from the line. That was came out kind of hard. Hot. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and Cat passing the building like it still shocks me a little bit. Like he's
Hey,
a
Hey,
very
did you see
good
that
passer.
steamer around too? Oh my
Bro,
god!
what?
Hey, I'm gonna
Like
speak on
Around
he
the
that.
was
double.
hooping. Like cat passing ability shocked me. Like I'm like really I'm gonna keep it 100. It was really the Knicks who shot me most of we watched the Spurs all day. So we kinda understand, especially with Wemby coming in, we kinda understand what they're going for. I just wanted to see how the Knicks was gonna match up against that type of caliber team.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And they shocked me. They stayed in the game. They came, as y'all see, they came through. They won.
Yeah.
So they shocked me on it, honestly. But OG and Cat was my two, like, cause Jalen Brunson, he gonna be Jalen Brunson. I know, like, we know what he gonna do. Slow steps, flow N1. We know what Jalen Brunson bringing to the table. It was Cat and OG who mainly did the big, like, okay, like, yeah, they shocked me the most out of everybody. And Tyler, yeah, but y'all already been y'all spoke on that the whole, you feel me?
Yeah.
So that's
yeah.
fine.
Vano, I want to talk to you about because like I said, we was watch partying and your label. He kind of, what I'm saying, he kind of kept them in it the whole first half, and then
Oh, he
second
really
half,
did.
they kind of faltered as a team. Also, Dylan Harper, I want to shout out Dylan Harper as well.
He
Dylan
was
Harper,
hooping.
21 off the bench, 7 for 14. He was playing amazing.
Yeah,
That's gonna spark a conversation again. Now I know we already talked
that's
about,
J label too,
but
by the way. J label.
I
not
think
Right?
that's
no.
crazy.
Dylan
Oh, that's
Harper. Oh,
Chris.
that's Chris Label. Chris
Yeah,
verified
Oh,
buckets.
my,
Yeah,
that
my
is
bad,
my
my
six
bad.
man. That's my 6 man of the year pick, though, Mike.
that
Yeah,
is J
okay,
six
my
man of
bad,
the
my
year.
bad.
Yeah,
It was something. I remember you bringing him up recently. That's
Yeah,
why, my bad.
yeah. Check out that awards video if y'all ain't seen it, man. Dylan Harper was 6 man of the year for Jay. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and deep dive into it, Vano. How you felt about the game?
I enjoyed the game. It was a really good game. Very competitive. I know we expected that kind of spark that Wemby gave him in that OKC game in the conference finals, I guess you want to call it, attorney. But I will give him a little grace because I found out after the game that I think that his granny passed like at the start of the day. So I give him a little grace for him to play a little lackluster in the way he did. But at the same time, I think those guards, as you say, Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, D Fox, they really showed up to make it a competitive game at least. Champagne as well. I want to highlight Champagne. A lot of guys don't really pay attention to those 3 and D role players that kind of come off the bench, but Shorty really got that fire on him. And another guy on the Knicks, I want to give a little shout out to Reese. Reese Hater, specialist. You feel me? Mitchell Robinson, who gave him 15 rebounds and 10 of them was offensive. You feel me? Like really sparked a spark for the Knicks that they actually needed with Cat. A little calf injury, I think it was, and being down at one point in that game by double digits. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I will say, yeah, even though I'm a Mitchell Robinson hater, he did assert his dominance against a lackadaisical Wemby in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna let Dez talk about that dominance though, because Dez had a little parlay in where he needed Wemby for them 2 boards in the Wemby got in the fourth, man, and didn't get a single fucking rebound against that nigga Mitchell Robinson the entire fourth quarter. So, go ahead and deep dive into the game, Dez. What you seen?
Yeah, I think the game was really competitive on both ends. I think Von hinted a lot of good players that did some nice stuff. Like a lot of people came off the bench and produced. It's good to see OG back. He been balling. Josh Hart starting lineup. The Knicks been on a nice win streak. I think they only lost like one game out of their last like 10 with Josh Hart in the lineup. So I feel like with Josh Hart being back and OG being back in the starting lineup, it's really like showing that the Knicks is still like one of the favorites to come out the East. So that's kind of good to see. Jordan Clarkson hoop, Tyler Kolek hoop. Um, I'm surprised we don't be seeing no Gershon Yabusele minutes, but maybe it might come throughout the season or something like that. But I like what I seen from the Knicks. I did want Wemby to be a little more aggressive down the stretch, but you know, he kind of looked at winded a little bit too. So maybe like that, just not getting a lot of time this year, being with that injury, probably kind of been stopping him a little bit, and also like his personal stuff. So he probably wasn't all the way during the game. So just want to shout out Wemby for that. And then also I kind of want to see Stephon Castle just be a little more efficient. I know y'all did say like his buckets did look good, but I don't know. It just he got to stop taking the shots that don't make sense. Like I like to see him get downhill a little more. You said those ill-advised threes. I don't really like those for him either. Overall, I think it was a good competitive game though.
Yeah, it was an amazing game. I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the best
That
watches.
was
I
a
think
great
that
game.
the Spurs versus Knicks, that's a great rivalry. Like if we ever see a
Yeah,
finals,
every
Yeah,
time they play, they hoop like everybody, bro. And
yeah,
it's always good to see. And I think in this game, like nobody specifically went crazy, crazy, but like everybody played like well rounded. So that's what made it a really good
yeah.
game.
it was a great game. It was a team effort versus team effort for sure. Jay, I'm gonna let you finish off your thoughts on the Cup Finals, and then we can go ahead and move on. Jalen Brunson did win MVP. I don't know how you felt about him winning the MVP, but give your thoughts on the
Yeah,
game.
I mean, we've talked a lot about the Spurs, the last couple of weeks with that three-headed monster they got for the backcourt, and plus Wemby, and then the others just kind of fit in. I think that youth and inexperience kind of showed. Obviously, they came through last game against OKC, but with youth, like you gonna have the inconsistencies to end the games, and we saw that last night with them not being able to keep up that same pace that they had for the first three quarters. But I was really impressed with the Knicks, the others, Jordan Clarkson, Tyler Kolek, Mitchell Robinson, because we know in past years with Tibbs, like the bench has always been an issue for them. Him running the
Yeah.
starters into the ground, and so I think with no Deuce McBride, no Landry Shamet, and them still being able to get production off the bench, that bodes well for the rest of the season for them. So shout out to the Knicks. I think that this helps my confidence in them as a team going forward. Um, but also I think it helped their confidence in themselves. So it was a good game for sure.
Yeah, great
Yeah, I was
game.
surprised to not see Michael not play like the whole fourth. I don't think like
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
Yeah.
just was over there chilling. But like, cause when they came out in the fourth, I'm like, bro, they running a 3 guard lineup right now. But they was killing. Like they was
right.
really getting to it with that 3 guard lineup with Brunson, Clarkson, and Kolek. And I'm like,
Mhm.
then they put Hart in, and Bridges was just chilling really. So that was good
Yeah,
to see. Like they really shout out Mike Brown for that. Like he got real confidence in his team, and that's what you like to see. And like I said, that's gonna
Yeah.
help them as the season progress in the playoffs. Like you throw Jordan Clarkson and Kolek in there, they're gonna be ready to go. So that's why I kind of like that type of stuff.
yeah. Just in their final remarks about the Cup game, man. To speak about the fourth, shout out Mike Brown. He did make some adjustments that we feel like we never seen from the this new and improved New York Knicks team, where he played and trusted his role players in the moments, to close out the game. Subbing in Tyler Kolek for that, like I said, that big three, that kick out three to the corner after just having his star players in there. He subbed out Jordan Clarkson. You paying Jordan Clarkson only $3 million, but at the same time, you paying him as a 6 man of the year. You sub him, you pull him out, and you put in a two-way player like Tyler Kolek in the clutch, and he make that clutch play because you seen Jalen Brunson needed help on the playmaking. Those type of adjustments, I feel like, can set them up for a great. It'll set them up in a great position to be able to be the team to come out the East. Is what I'm saying
yeah,
basically, because those type of adjustments is championship adjustments. So shout out Mike Brown. He kind of outcoached Mitch Robinson to end the. Mitch Johnson. My bad. Mitch Johnson to close out that game. We can go ahead and move into the next segment though. We can start highlighting some of these teams, man. It's been some great basketball being played in the West. Uh, a team that we haven't talked a lot about, and we wish we would have showed more love. And once again, if y'all ain't seen the awards predictions video, we went over all the awards. The team we wish we would have gave a little more love was the Nuggets. We can go ahead and talk about the Nuggets, about how the Nuggets duo have been leading them to a franchise best start. They're currently sitting second seed in the West right now. They have been on fire. Jamal Murray is looking like he's having the best year of his entire career, which is crazy to say based on his legendary career he's had as a Nugget. So yeah, I'm gonna start it off with Vaughn. I'm gonna let you start this one off this time. With the Nuggets being 19-6, how do you feel about the Nuggets in this during this year? Because I feel like they got the best roster to be the team to beat the Thunder. If there's any team that's built specifically to beat the Thunder, I feel like the Nuggets got them in a 7-game series if it come down to it. So how do you feel about it?
I love what I'm seeing from the Nuggets actually, and I'm glad you brought up the roster because they're missing guys like Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon. They got guys Spencer Jones, THJ, even Jonas, who we would think on his last leg of his career, like stepping up for them when they needed the most, just and behind the head of the snake with Yoke and Jamal Murray. But I'm loving what I'm seeing. Coach really taking on the reins and getting those young guys going. And also looking at Jamal Murray, like you said, having one of his best seasons of his year. He might be that all-star. This might be that all-star year that we see from Jamal Murray that nobody has, I would say, predicted to come because we know he kind of take that little back step in the regular season, but hope that he will finally get to. You feel me? But I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Nuggets.
Yeah, we definitely don't expect. We didn't expect. I should say we didn't expect Jamal Murray, especially with the stacked West, like how stacked the West is. We didn't expect him to have this type of year to where we would consider him as an All Star. So I'm gonna go to you next, Jay. How you feel about this top 3 offensive team, Denver Nuggets this season? How do you feel about them?
Yeah. I think they playing pretty much how we expected. They were one of the preseason favorites, with some of the offseason moves. And GM did a great job of like filling they weak points that they had, in the last season. Like Vaughn said, it's a testament to how good the offseason moves were with the fact that they've been able to sustain without Aaron Gordon and without Christian Braun for a while. It's really just come down to Jokic being the MVP, being one of the greatest players of our generation, and then Jamal Murray playing at an all-star level, which I feel like in recent years he's had moments where he's played at the all-star level, but he's dealt with injuries, some inconsistencies, but like he's got a really good footing right now, and it's just helped them get off to a start that we all really expected, but I don't think we would have expected them to be this good with those injuries. So shout out to them.
Yeah, man. Shout out to them. Like I said, man, they a top 3 offensive team. They basically kind of got a similar mindset as the Lakers, where they just gonna beat you by just being more talented than you on offense.
Yeah.
Just outscoring every opponent that they can possibly. Outscoring their opponent the best way they possibly can. And with that duo that had, with Jamal Murray and Jokic that being the head of that snake, it's not too many teams that can keep up with them on a nightly basis. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to you though, Mike. How do you feel about the Denver Nuggets and how you feel about Jamal Murray's, crazy year this year, this potential All-Star year?
We all know who the Nuggets is. They always been nice. They got somebody who always top 3, top 5 MVP every year, as in Jokic. And Jamal, he shocked me. As in, like, yeah, Vaughn, I'm gonna have to say he shocked me because it's like we've been waiting for this jump. I feel like it's kind of overdue, honestly.
Yes,
and
it is though.
And like I'm not a firm fan of Kentucky, but I do believe like all their guards can go. Like if you came from Kentucky, you can go. Period. Like I don't care who you is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like we just been waiting for it. Then the slouch games, the on and off games, but everybody be going through stuff too. Like I believe Jamal has something personal going on too, like a couple of years from why he been on and off points wise, like so very inconsistent. But I'm glad to see he's doing better now. So because he's hooping.
Just to highlight. Oh my bad. Go ahead.
My bad. Nah, my bad. My last thing I was gonna say is that Aaron Gordon, whenever he come back, that's a different type of role player right there. That's not
That is dope, Mike.
Yeah, so that's gonna help a lot. I remember at the beginning of the season they said something about they combined for like 150 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of them, like not saying like all of them had 50 points. I'm saying like in that 1 week, one of them had 30, the other person had 40, one person had.
Aaron Gordon did have him a 50 ball this year though, so that might have been what you're talking about.
Like around that time, that's when they was like it came out like at the end of the week, like they combined to 150.
Yeah, just to highlight Jamal Murray's jump of the year. You know what I'm saying? Crazy to think that he could be a potential most improved player of the year, but we already knew he can play this played as well though, but he's averaging 25 points per game, which is a career high. He's averaging 4.4 rebounds per game. That's a career high. 6.8 assists, career high. 1.1 steals. He's shooting a career high from the 3-point line right now at 45% from the three, and he's shooting a career high 50% from the field. So he's literally having a insane year. But I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to you to end it off, Dezo. How do you feel about the Nuggets and how you feel about Jamal?
I feel good about the Nuggets. I feel like anytime you got Jokic on your team, you gotta feel good. But I've been liking what I've been seeing, like despite them having all these injuries, and also despite Cam Johnson not playing at his best this year. I feel like people see MPJ doing what he's doing and see Cam Johnson doing what he's doing. It's like he's not really having the best statistical, but I do feel like he's still the best fit for them. And as the
Yeah.
season progresses, he definitely will kind of find his footing. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Jamal Murray, kind of picking it up early and not more so later on in the year. Because Jamal Murray, he get to it, bro. Like he's a fun watch. Um, and then also, I think I noticed that they like 12-2 on the road, which is usually like the opposite for them. They usually a pretty good home team, and then on the road they kind of up and down.
Yeah.
They are 12-2 this year on the road, so they getting it done. Not in front of their home crowd, so that's good to see. And then like I think somebody said like a lot of they role playing guys or like just kind of next man up mentality, just stepping up. Like we literally seen um I can't think of his first name. I know it's S. Jones. Whatever his name is, he was locking KD up in that Rockets game. Like he was locking KD up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like KD, he was denying him the ball, just not letting him get to where he want to be on the court. So that's good to see that they kind of all buying into that. But I feel like the Nuggets has always done a good job at, letting their young guys be in those moments. Like we seeing now, like Peyton Watson has been stepping up as well too. But when Peyton Watson was earlier on in his career, they was putting him in moments, Christian Braun putting him in the games where like they gotta actually produce. So now it's
Yeah.
coming around like those guys step up when needed, and we kind of seeing it right now. So I do expect the Nuggets to kind of stay on this path and probably end up like a top three seed as the season progresses.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the Nuggets, man, and shout out to Spencer Jones, ass S Jones. His ass did
Yeah, I
play.
call him S. Jones. I couldn't remember his.
Yeah,
He ain't got there yet with me, but
yeah. He
he was
did.
doing good though.
He did play 41 minutes against the Rockets and had them big threes in that overtime game. So man, shout out to the Nuggets. We can go ahead and move on next to opposite of what we were just talking about. A team that we are very disappointed in. We can go ahead and get into the Golden State Warriors, bro. The Warriors have been struggling this season to put things together. Stay right there, Dez. I don't want you to go nowhere because I feel like you got a bone to pick
I
with
got some
these
words
niggas.
for you, Jimmy Butler. I don't like you, bro. I don't like the stuff that you're doing out here, and Steph Curry don't deserve this. They picked you up to relieve Steph from some of the stuff that he be doing. He still got to go out there and drop 50 points for them to even compete. I ain't saying win, to compete in the game. Jimmy Butler, man, I don't know. I just feel like his contract and his production is not matching up. I don't like it. And also, I got a bone to pick with the front office because this whole holding on to Moses Moody and Pods and all these other
Yeah.
bums they got, it don't look good. They could have had a Lloyd Marketing. They could have had a couple other like star type players on their team, and they let the front office and Draymond Green lead them astray from that. And now look at them wasting Steph. I want Steph to request a trade. I don't know about y'all. I like the whole for lifer stuff, and I fuck with Steph Curry, but they doing him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I just feel like they wasting his talent right now. Um, I don't think DMPs like what is that about? You know what I'm saying? Like they tanking his own trade value by not playing him. I don't understand what's going on in the organization, bro. Like they just don't look good at all, and I don't see them getting any better, honestly. I mean, maybe they could pick it up a little bit because they're not in like a Clippers situation where they way at the bottom, but it's like they don't look good, bro. And I don't know. This roster they have is not something that you can compete with, and that's what Steph trying to do. So I don't know.
Yeah, man. The Warriors are currently sitting as the eighth seed in the West right now. They have a woeful record of 13-14, below 500. That's not gonna cut it in the West, especially because we don't talk about another team in the West that's right below them that's making a push. But in their last 10, they're 4-6. They on a 2 losing streak. Just the other night, like you said, Steph had like 49 and They still lost to the Portland Trailblazers, which is another team that's battling for that spot that they're fighting
Jimmy
for.
can't even get you a dub. A
Yeah.
dub.
Jimmy
That's
Butler.
crazy, bro.
I'm not gonna lie, Jimmy Butler got that whole mindset that I'm gonna let Vaughn talk about Jimmy next because Vaughn talked about it in our tier list video about how he felt about Jimmy as well and the whole mindset of him being too cool for school for the regular season. Vaughn, how do you feel about the whole too cool for school attitude and why the Warriors aren't performing the way they should be as we expected them to be at least?
Like Reese said, man, I've always had a bone to pick with Jimmy. If y'all haven't seen the tier list video, go check it out. Y'all see why. But Jimmy has this problem with coasting through the regular season if his teams are talented enough to just be a top 14 with him putting up 13. You feel me? Jimmy, you're the second best guy on the team. We need you to go out there and give me 24. You feel me? So I hate this. All right, I'm gonna go out there, give you 15 and 6 really quick, and Steph give us 40. But at the same time, we're in a toe-to-toe game with the Portland Trailblazers that we ultimately end up losing. Like Dad said, the front office is making it no better by holding on and bargaining with these guys like Kuminga, Moses Moody, or Pods, but essentially don't want to trade because they don't want to feel like they're getting like finessed. You feel me? Like he said, they could have had Laurie, who's giving 30 a game right now, and we seeing flashes of that all-star Laurie like we did a couple years back. But they're too stubborn in terms of trading that we gotta watch Pods go out there and get cardio for real,
He
honestly.
had the nerve to say he wanted to be the face of the front. Man,
Bro, what the fuck is wrong with him, bro?
I don't even.
So bad. Y'all know I love playoff Jimmy. I love how he turns it up, but at the same time, I need 82 games of Jimmy showing his ass for me to even give Jimmy his flowers because the 8 games he possibly get in the playoffs and 6 of them he hoop, not gonna give me the grace to where it's just like, okay, Jimmy really that guy. When I just watched the whole regular season and we battling in these play-in games because Jimmy was taking nights off. You feel me?
Yeah. Jay, go ahead and get into it yourself, man. How do you feel about the Warriors? I haven't really heard a lot of strong opinions from you about the Warriors organization as much as the rest of us. But I wonder how you feel about the Warriors as an organization right now and currently where they're standing in the NBA standards.
I think the biggest issue with the Warriors for me is Steve Kerr and the moves that they're making. Personnel wise, I think they've struggled since they won the chip to put a real team around Steph, and it stems with their young players and them mismanaging uh, how good they actually are. You know what I mean? Like they wait too late to trade some of these guys. Moses Moody, we talked about Pods, Kuminga, those guys should have been gone a long time ago. Like it just is what it is. I was seeing things last year about them not wanting to include Pods in certain trades for Laurie Markkinen. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know how true that is, but just the fact that they were making him untouchable to a degree. That's like, come on now. We all saw his potential then. I mean, I don't care how good he was playing at that point. We all saw what he was gonna be. So, and with Jimmy, I think we look at guys like Zach LaVine, guys like Paul George for their contract. We've even had people bring up LeBron's contract. You know what I mean? But nobody ever talks about Jimmy making $55 million a year and not playing like a $55 million a year player. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That money adds up to where you can't really fill a roster out. So I don't really see a world where the Warriors can turn it around. They don't have assets that are valuable. So like Dad said, if Steph really does want to win more, you know what I mean, as before his time is up in the NBA, he would have to request a trade. This Warriors team is what it is at this point. They're always going to be a play-in team until they break this current iteration up. So I don't really got too much to say on the Warriors. I think Steve Kerr needs to be canned. He's still stuck in 2016. He still think he has that. For some reason, it's like in his head, he got that same team. So he was trying to apply those same strategies to every single roster he has. It's like no matter who I got on my team,
Yeah.
we gonna play the same way. You know what I mean? And the NBA has shifted. This isn't the same NBA it was 10 years ago, and I don't think he's really got that through his head yet. So
Yeah, and you gotta also understand that he got his whole game plan and play style from a player. I mean, a coach / player Hall of Famer, Mark Jackson. That he got that entire offense that he run, that whole mindset of kind of playing through playing through the star Steph Curry like that works somewhat to a certain degree every once in a while, but to be sustained over an 82 game season, you need a full team effort. We got teams that got players like we just talked about, players 15th man on the roster to coming in, giving people 15, 16 points a night.
Yeah.
You can't get away with the whole idea and mindset that we just gonna center our whole offense around one person no more. That's not gonna work.
I feel like, I mean, with them, I feel like it worked though. They just always had that player that relieves Steph of, some of the stuff that
Yeah.
those players around him can't do. You know what I'm saying? Not saying, I mean, they had KD, of course, and then I know Wiggins had that all-star year. Wiggins was playing at a level where it's like, okay, we can depend on him to step up in big moments. And I feel like Jimmy hasn't showed. I mean, last year, Jimmy did have some flashes later on in the year where it's like, okay, maybe the Warriors could, make a little noise in the West next year if Jimmy playing like this. Like when Jimmy first arrived to the Warriors, he did have a couple games where it's like, okay, this seemed like it can work. Like Jimmy is relieving like the Warriors. You remember they had a lot of issues where they weren't getting free throws because if you're not driving to the basket, you're not getting free throws. Jimmy gonna get downhill. So I feel like Jimmy has to play his game, which will open up for everybody else to be successful. But like right now, I don't think he's doing that. Like I said, they've always had a player when they've been their most successful. They've always had a player outside of Steph that was like can go do something on his own or create for others and things like that.
Yeah.
I feel like Jimmy trying to be too much of a. I feel like Jimmy trying to play Draymond role. You can't be. We don't need two Draymonds on the court. You can't be a connector. We don't pay you $55 million to come in here and connect the team. You gotta have games where you take over sometimes, and he just don't do that. So I don't know.
Also,
go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, Bob.
Also, I want to note that like Steph only getting older. He's 37 at this point. So although we can rely on Steph so much, it's not 2016, 2017. You feel me? Like the mileage on Steph, we can already see through the injuries. Like we keep throwing out more mileage on Steph. By the time play-ins and playoffs come, Steph ain't gonna be healthy to actually even compete.
Yeah.
Mike, you got anything to say about the Warriors and your label player Steph, man? How you feeling about it?
No, I'm agreement on y'all, especially Dez with the Steph. Go ahead, get up out of there. I'm sorry, my bad. My big thing was, bro, ain't no way we losing to the Trailblazers, bro. And Steph got 48 though.
Yeah.
Like,
And Steph got 48.
Like, what is we doing? That's that. But y'all touched all the topics already. That's all I was like, what, bro? 40, and he shot good. It's different if he shoot horrible, bro. The man shot good, like some shit like 12 for 18 or something, like 12 for 19. I can't really remember. The exact numbers, but ain't no way we losing games like that when he got 48 and we struggling against the Trailblazers, bro. Like, is we serious, bro?
Yeah.
That's all. Like, that's it.
Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up about that organization, man. We grew up in an era where they was a dynasty and now they dying. So we can move on to the next. Our next West team that's kind of going through a woeful time, but also at the same time fighting. The Memphis Grizzlies, man, they holding strong despite the Ja Morant drama with the team and the organization going back and forth with Ja. And all of the controversy around him wanting to leave and not knowing if he wanted to stay and what their future is going to hold. Them moving up off of Desmond Bane was a bad idea from most of the fans in the NBA. I don't really got a lot to say about the Memphis Grizzlies, but I'm going to pass it off to Vaughn because, Ja Morant is your man's. And he is part of the reason why this organization is kind of been in a stalemate where they have players or certain type of they have a young core that they've been holding on to for these last like 2-3 years, where they got like players like Vince Williams and they got players like G.G. Jackson and stuff like that are on the roster. Jalen Wells and Cedric Coward is another young player. They've been drafting very well or also picking up players out the G League that I feel like can produce, but they don't have the record that we would like them to have with a superstar. What we thought was going to turn into a superstar point guard in Ja Morant. So I want you to touch up on how you feel about the Memphis Grizzlies and how even though they're going through a lot of drama, they're still 9th in the West. They're only one game shy behind the Warriors, who's 8th in the West. But yeah, and they're 7-3 in their last 10.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from the Memphis Grizzlies in terms of competing because Like you said, with all the Ja drama going on, you would think they would be bottom of the West, like wholeheartedly. But if I'm being honest, I think the organization and Ja both know they need to separate and do it expeditiously. You feel me? I feel like Ja is holding that organization back in terms of going forward, progressing, and just having a direction. Because if you don't have Ja, I feel like once you move Ja, you can also move Jaren. You can blow it up to where you're developing your young guys and also getting future draft picks because you kind of in the tank mode a little bit. And you can develop those guys like you said with GG and Vince and Cam Spencer, who've been having flashes of being a solid ass NBA player. But I appreciate that they hooping. I like a team who gonna go out there and fight every given night. You feel me? I do think it's time for Ja to just separate. Maybe find a new home in South Beach or something. You know, go fuck with Ben Monte and them. But I fuck with how they like giving hope against any team they play.
Yeah. Jay, what's your thoughts on the Memphis Grizzlies right now?
Um, I think they're in dangerous territory of becoming what the Heat, the Bulls, the Hawks have been in the last couple of years, of just being that team that's just good enough to sneak into the play-in, but never good enough to actually do anything. I think it would probably be best for Ja and Grizzlies to separate. I think Ja will play a lot better in a new environment, and I think the Grizzlies will have a better sense of direction whenever they do move Ja. Because, like you said, once you move Ja, what's the point of keeping Jaren Vaughn? So, I think they got good young talent, but not enough to none of those guys are good enough to where you say, okay, this is my franchise guy. So you still have to. They still need that guy. I don't think Ja's that number one, and Jaren for damn sure ain't that number one. So I like that they've been competing. I think it's always good when you can see young teams compete. But as far as going forward, I think they just really need to think hard about what they're going to do with those with Ja and with Jaren. Because it's going to set up the next couple of years too. If you wait too long, then you end up looking like I said, the Bulls, like the Heat, the Hawks before this current season. So
Yeah, I'm right there with y'all. Yeah, I feel like they need to find a sense of direction for sure. Dez, man, how do you feel about the Memphis Grizzlies right now? I know you was one of the people that wanted to talk and touch up on this team as well. With them being 12 and 14, how you feel about them being able to at least fight?
Yeah, I'm kind of with y'all. Now that y'all kind of spoke on it a little more. I just don't think that this roster is good enough to compete for anything. So I feel like they should definitely try to find their guy. I know they got
Yeah,
rid of Desmond Bain for like what 4 or 5 picks or some shit like that. So
yeah,
it's like I feel like they should try to do the same with Ja and Jaren to see if they can just get some draft capital, some expiring contracts, some things like that to just move along in the future. They do have some nice young pieces though. I like Cedric Howard. I think he definitely can become a really good NBA player. It kind of just sucks though, because like the Grizzlies been looking for a wing this whole little Ja Morant era, and like now that Desmond Bain is gone, and then this whole situation with Ja, they finally found a solid young wing, but he's not gonna really be able to be in there with them type of guys. So I just want to see them kind of just blow it up. But right now they're actually competing a little too much for my liking right now. So I mean they're a
yeah,
fun team to watch because like you get to see the Cam Spencers, Satya Aldama give you a good game. Jalen Wells is a solid NBA player, but it's like what are y'all competing for? You know what I'm saying? If you do make it to the play-in, it's not you're not gonna get, and if you somehow slip into the playoffs, you really is really gonna look bad. So it's like. Um, I don't know. Like I'm with y'all. Just find some type of direction. It should be just kind of developing a young talent. So
Yeah. They kind of their front office probably noticing that this team is just overachieving right now and they don't know what to do. They probably just scoping the scenery and seeing which players that they want to build their roster around right now. With the hot start from Cedric Coward, they probably noticing that he's even better than what they initially thought. They probably thought he was gonna be a project, but he came in straight NBA ready off the rip. Mike, go ahead and finish this topic off with the Memphis Grizzlies and how they're fighting past the drama.
I really don't have too much to say about the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm in a line. I agree with everybody. With it's time to just blow it up. Like right now, yes, they're fighting to stay alive, to stay on the standard boards. But yeah, I think it's time for them to just go separate ways. It was fun. I honestly thought it was time after, like, I don't know if everybody's seen, but after Jaren got paid, Ja was kind of, he thought, you feel me, I'm next. You feel me? But when they notice they don't even know if they want to keep you, shoot, I want out.
Yeah.
So it's like it been ever since then. It really just been, yeah, just been just been bad over there. Just a tornado over there. They just like, yeah, it's just bad for real.
And we go ahead
I
and
do
move.
want to
Go ahead, Vaughn.
I do want to give a get the flowers to their new head coach because this is his first year, and with this roster and Ja being out with everything, he still got them 12-14. So I want to give him his flowers. I don't want to butcher his name, but Lasalo, I know that's his last name at least.
Yeah.
That's a bro.
He was an
Yeah,
interim for Taylor Jenkins, right? Or no?
yeah,
Yeah. So let's give our flowers to Taylor because that's the Taylor system he running over there. He I feel like they still play the same as they always played. You know, they was always a solid team with or without Ja. They still come out there and blow your ass out. So it's like I feel like that organization is a good organization, but it's just like Jay said, they kind of in that realm with the Bulls and the Hawks, and where it's
yeah.
like y'all not really competing for nothing. Y'all a solid team and can give somebody a fight every
From the
night,
watch
but
type shit.
yeah, but it's like you're not really competing for nothing.
Yeah, man. We can now wrap it up with the Grizzlies. We move on over to the East, man. On the East Coast, we can get into a Massachusetts team, the Boston Celtics, bro. The Boston Celtics have proven that they're still a big threat in the East, despite losing their superstar Jason Tatum. They've been fighting every game. They kind of look like a team that is kind of they in a spot where they're so good they're winning games because just based off Jaylen Brown kind of putting on the cape and certain players that we didn't expect to perform just come out of nowhere and have impactful minutes. Players like Jordan Walsh and players like we kind of expected Peyton Pritchard to be able to hoop, but yeah, those players. And we also seen them have certain struggle moments because certain players like Derek White, who we thought was much better, is not performing as well. But they're currently sitting 7-3 in their last 10. They're the fourth seed. They 15-11. A lot of people kind of wrote them off and told them they should just have this as a tank season. They should be going for AJ Jabonsta and all this. But I think they had the mindset like, y'all writing us off like we didn't just win a championship a few years ago. There's still we still got that championship DNA over here. We still hungry and we still thirsty for another one. We not done over here. So they going out there and competing every night. Jaylen Brown is having a kind of a damn near MVP season if he can keep hooping like this, having career highs out there. So I'm gonna let Vaughn start this one off again also because this is another one of your label players. To be honest with you, Jaylen Brown is another one of your label players, and he having not a generational, I should say, but his career high. You feel me? His career
high. I think we all kind of shocked from what we're seeing from Boston. I think everybody expected Jaylen Brown to produce more in terms of numbers a little bit, but not to this stature, And I love that he out there really willing them to wins. You feel me? Like you said, they got guys like Jordan Walsh, Josh Minot, and Pritchard, even Kata get him. Really, you feel me? Even Kata really come through in big moments in terms of being that front court defender. But I think Jay said it in the last video. If y'all haven't checked it out, check it out. But Joe Mazzulla, like his coaching ability is amazing.
Yeah.
I have Drew, AP, JT out there, Al Horford, all of those like cemented NBA players who know what they're doing regardless of what team they own and will these young guys to wins, you feel me, and had them in a position to win. Although Derek White is struggling some games and not producing to what we expect him to do. Now, I'm loving what I'm seeing from the Celtics. And shout out the label, man. Shout out Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown having a career high in points per game at 29.3. Career high in assists at 4.9 assists. Career high in rebounds at 6.2 rebounds. A career high from in efficiency. This is his best 3-point shooting season at 36%. And also he's shooting 50% from the field at that volume, shooting 22 shots a game, shooting 50%, you can't beat it. That's the best. That's the best you're gonna ever. Like you're literally not gonna get any other player to play better than he's playing right now. So shout out Jaylen Brown. Dez, how you feel about the Celtics?
I feel really good about them. I like to see them compete, and then I just think that just shows how good of a coach that Joe Mazzulla is. Yeah, I ain't seen the award video and the predictions. I did have Joe Mazzulla as my coach of the year. Like you said, they're sitting at I think fourth in the East. You said, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they like a top five defense right now. So they be sitting down on shit too. Don't think nothing sweet over there. They lock up over there. Jalen Brown has been having a hell of a season. Peyton Pritchard been hooping. It's just good to really see, man. And then like they just go out there and compete every night. You know what I'm saying? And I just think the Celtics is just always going to be a winning org, no matter if they just. I thought they were going to try to just kind of take a down season, but like it's like they just can't do it, and that's I kind of like that about them. So, but I've been loving what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and to just back your statement, in the last 10 games, the Celtics are ranked third in the NBA in defensive rating. So yeah, they've been boxing shit up. But if you look at their overall season, they ranked 18th. So it's just something sparked in them in the last 10. You know, Joe Mazzulla, fucking a goddamn insane asylum patient. So he probably got on their ass at one point and flipped that switch for some of them players. Jay, go ahead and get into it about the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I feel like y'all touched on it pretty well. Joe Mazzulla showing his coaching prowess. I didn't expect the Celtics to lay down because we know their history as an organization, but I thought that they would be forced to, just due to the lack of talent. But we've seen, like Juan said, a lot of guys step up and play well. So, I think the Celtics, they playing a lot better than I expected. Shout out to Jalen Brown for having a year. I think we all kind of question whether he could be that guy to really step up and play consistently, not just scoring the ball, but doing a lot more on the court. You know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
offensively. So yeah, shout out to the Celtics. They playing well, uh, and they kind of set themselves up in a good position for when JT come back next year. So
Yeah, I think they set themselves up in a position where it kind of motivates JT to come back. But
yeah,
Yeah.
Mike, I got a special question for you. What do you think the Celtics should do with Anthony Simons? Because they signed him as their bench, their bench guard. They had him as their sixth man. They thought he was gonna basically play like that Lou Will, Jamal Crawford role, but he hasn't. We haven't seen any. I guess we haven't seen a lot of effective nights out of him. So how do you feel about him?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna actually touch up on. I was gonna say he started off better. Like at the beginning of the season, his numbers was 15, 18, couple of 20 balls here and here, 11, 10, but now it's just dropped. Everything just dropped. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what happened. Honestly, I would say either I feel like you have options. You can either like because it could be it's a lot going on the court with at that position wise. You know, you got Peyton Richards, and it's like you gotta come
Yeah.
in and find your spot. You know, that's
Yeah.
what, and it's like that's not really his type of play. Like he want to know exactly what he's coming in the game to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of different when you got Peyton doing it. You got JB. Whenever he's hot, he's hot. You can't. I'm not
Yeah.
taking the ball from him. You know, so it's just like I feel like it's about finding where he can be. Just simple as that. Just finding where, like, it's just like you say, supposed to be the sixth man, but we just I feel like we're not gonna be able to see his ability until that opportunity in that role comes. Feel
Mm-hmm.
like it hasn't been. I feel like basically with Jason Tatum coming back, it will be way better.
It'd be more
But
more
right now,
consistency.
yeah, you wouldn't be able to tell right now because it's like it's Jalen Brown and a bunch of not role players, but yeah, role players.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Yeah.
fit in with all them though. He fit in with Peyton Richardson. Like they do the same, not the same thing. Peyton Richards way better, but you see what I'm trying to say. Like it's kind of
No,
it's
yeah.
difficult. It's
I want to
difficult.
see them move off of Anthony. Honestly, I
I
want to
was
see
thinking
him.
that too, Jess.
Yeah, I want to see him go to a team that really need a point guard. I don't think they really need him. I think when Tatum do come back, Peyton Pritchard probably would go back to that bench role because I think that's where he kind of plays his best. But
Yeah,
Anthony has he showed moments where we know he can get to
yeah,
it, but I just don't think this is really like I feel like the organization know and probably he know like this is more so like a rental type of thing, like where he just kind of stopping by. So I
Yeah.
don't see him really trying to stay here or even like trying to prove anything to the organization because I feel like we all know Anthony Simons can do it already. So
Yeah,
Yeah, I also think.
go
Go ahead,
ahead.
Rick.
I was just gonna say, just to speak on Anthony Simons, even though it seems like he's playing bad. If you look at his averages, he's not having the worst game, but it's the eye test for him. So
Yeah.
that's all I was about to say. Like his averages for him to have 0 starts this season and still average 13 off the bench, still shooting the same percentages. He's still the same exact player. He just it's literally just about volume. He's playing 10 less minutes than he ever did in his last 5 years of his career. So,
Yeah.
what you was about to say about him, though, Anthony? About Anthony Brown.
Honestly, moving off Anthony, I think they should try to move off him to kind of beef up that front court. Like after losing KP, losing Al Horford, and just only really having Cater to rely on. If I'm being honest, because once JT come back, it's like you don't want to throw a guy like Jordan Walsh, who really is a good defender, but at your backup five because all you got is Cater at this point. You feel me? So I think they should try to beef up that front court and use Anthony as an asset to do so.
Yeah, that would be smart as hell.
We can move on from the Celtics. We getting into. I'm gonna let you start this one off, Mike, because this is a team in the East that we are very disappointed in. We thought the East was basically theirs to be taken last season. They come into this season struggling. They're 4-6 in their last 10 games. They're currently sitting in the standings at seventh in the East. We're going to talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. That's led by the Gary's finest, DG, Darius Garland at the one. They're currently playing right now at the time of us recording this, and they're losing to the Chicago Bulls. So that's a team that we want to touch on right now. Mike, how do you feel about the Cleveland Cavaliers and how they've been struggling this season?
Man, I'm on and off with them, honestly. With you got Donovan Mitchell playing, he's playing great scoring wise. Then some games where it's like because from Jonathan, not everybody I'm expecting 30 points from 20, but it's like when that's what you constantly giving, that's what I'm constantly expecting now.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have them drop offs where it might not seem bad to others, like the 18 points or the only getting 17 points, I feel like that hurt all around. So I feel like Donovan Mitchell have a lot of those. And DG, I feel like it's time to just rebuild, honestly. Like I'm not liking the DG fit no more.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly.
Me
I'm
neither.
not liking it. I think it's just time to just blow it up. With Donovan Mitchell, I don't know what you're gonna do with him, or I don't know what he's going to do, because it's still a business. He has options too. So it's just I'm not liking Cleveland at all though. I'm not liking how the way they look at all. DG doesn't look comfortable, and the drop offs with Donovan is kind of throwing me off too.
Hey, Jay, you want to touch up on the Cleveland Cavaliers right quick?
Yeah. I think they kind of giving me shades of like the old like Utah team with Don, where it's like if Don, we relying too much on him. You know what I mean? Don
Yeah.
is a
Yeah,
player, but he can only do so much. And I think
right.
that's Jared Allen and Darius Garland like not performing. Obviously, they've been hurt too, which has been a theme. Whenever the last couple seasons, when you needed them most, they would get hurt, and either they would be out or they would be playing through injury, which don't look good for either one of them. So I actually disagree with you, Mike. I feel like they can. I don't think they got to blow it up. I think if they was to move off of those two, they can build a better roster around Evan Mobley and Donovan Mitchell to where they can still compete. I think Don's future is at the one. I think we see in the playoffs he take over as the one. It's not he's not playing off ball. He's on ball constantly in the playoffs. And so I think if this team really want to be successful, which they're going to struggle a lot more with Evan Mobley out, I think you move Don up to the one. You get Darius Garland out of him because there are some teams that can use a point guard where you will be able to ship him to. Jared Allen, it's too inconsistent for a team that's has championship aspirations. So I feel like if you move off those two, you'd be able to fill a better roster around those because they got solid role players. I think Lonzo, DeAndre Hunter, Craig Porter Jr. Like they got some guys who can play off the bench. You know what I mean? But I think there's too much money going to two guys who are good, and slightly below All Star level from season to season, but they just don't bring it consistently enough. So
Yeah, man. I 100% agree with you about that. I think they could potentially just go ahead and just move on from the Darius Garland combination in that backcourt and maybe look for I guess like a similar player like a Jalen Suggs kind of player for Donovan Mitchell. I feel like he need a two-way playmaking guard that can just like what they was expecting Lonzo to be for them, but I
Yeah.
guess a starter version of Lonzo if we can't find that for them. But Dez, how you feel about the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I agree. I haven't been liking what I've been seeing for them, but there have been a
Your boy
few
Evan
bright spots.
Mobley, yeah, that's your boy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Mobley have his up and down games, but this season I ain't really been liking what I've been seeing from nobody over there. Honestly, like Mike touched on, it's either Don giving you 30 or he giving you between
17.
16 to 18 points off terrible efficiency. I do like when Don kind of run the offense, but I don't know. Maybe they can go get like another off guard, like you said, like a Jalen Suggs type of or Drew Holiday, something like that that can kind of relieve some pressure off him. Um, but I don't know, man. It kind of do remind me of Utah, like Jay said. It's like once they kind of be good all through the regular season, and then it's like when you get to the playoffs, it's not you're not seeing the same team. And then with this year, they're not even good in the regular season. So I kind of been surprised by that because I did expect them to be at the top of the East, but it's not looking good. But honestly, I would have moved off Jared Allen too, like when he made that comment about the lights or whatever you
Like
said,
too bright.
like yeah, like the lights being too bright. That would have been my sign right there that I probably need to move up off of him.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was
right then
100%.
and there, you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
Straight
crazy
up.
as fuck.
it's not looking too good for them. So I'm with y'all. They probably should move off of Garland and Jared Allen and see if they can just get back. But I do like their role players, like Jay said. You didn't mention Jalen Tyson. He's
Yeah.
been really good for them this year, and I think if he can kind of keep going, he probably can stick in that starting lineup. I think Sam Merrill has been really good for them. He might be injured right now, so that could be another thing that kind of can be messing with them because he was providing great 3-point shooting from them. So it's a lot going on with them. I do think they can turn it around, but right now it's not looking good.
I will say they have been dealing with injuries. They haven't had DG Donovan and Evan Mobley trio on the court together too many games. We haven't seen them trio play a lot like
We
as of
have
right now.
it.
Like Darius Garland is now back, but now Evan Mobley is out. You feel me? So like,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's what
it's
I'm saying.
Jared
Evan.
Allen just got back too, I
Yeah,
think.
and Jared Allen just got back, so they have been dealing with a lot of injuries. But Vaughn, go ahead, I'll finish this off, and we can go ahead and get it tied. Last segment after you finish off this. Touch up on your last
Um,
thoughts about the Cavs, man.
I'm pretty much in agreement with everybody, especially in terms of moving off DG. I think that tenure is kind of over with. I think we do need to harp on Evan offensive progression, like or two. I feel like Evan is very wishy washy and inconsistent when we all had Evan touted to be better offensively. I think him giving us 3 one night and then following it up with a 14-11, it's like, all right, come on, Evan. Like at one point, at some point, you have to become consistent. You feel me? But also, I ain't gonna lie, I do think we kind of on them too much because they are only a game behind like the third seed. I feel like it's very easy for them to turn it around, especially with them dealing with injuries right now. I think they 15-12 at the moment, but only a half game behind the fourth seed, full game behind the third, to where we all thought they would be front runners in the East. But I think they could easily end up a top three seed if they just fix the minor things. Even though we do need to move off DG, I still think they can end a top three seed in the East. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah.
Hey,
Once
can I
I feel like
propose
they've
a
been
game?
dropping a lot of games to terrible teams, man. Like
That too,
terrible teams
yes.
that they should be beating. I just feel like we've always seen, at least the past couple of years, we've seen like dominance out of them in the regular season,
Yeah.
and it just hasn't been that. Like it's either they losing to
Especially
teams that they
last
shouldn't
year.
lose to, or like being in close games with teams they shouldn't be in close games with. So
yeah,
I was gonna say, I got a trade, or not a trade, full trade, but just like a guy that I think that might be able to help them because I think they struggle. They need a change of identity in a way, and I think a guy like, don't get me wrong, it might sound crazy, but Sabonis, who value is low right now. Jared Allen doesn't. I feel like Evan Mobley, that offense that we want him to provide, that he's not going to be able to. I think Sabonis comes in, and you got a guy like Evan Mobley who can take a lot of that,
That's a
defensive
pressure.
burden that Sabonis doesn't give. Obviously, the spacing fit with Evan Mobley not necessarily being an excellent three-point shooter, you have to work through the kinks of that. But I feel like if they really do want to shake things up and put a different product out there, I think
I like
Sabonis might
that.
be something we want to look at. So
I like
Yeah. So they definitely do need to find another shot creator slash playmaker. Obviously they already have a team that's not predicated on outside jump shooting from their front court, so I wouldn't be mad at getting some bonus. You know, that's a great connector. We can go ahead and move on to our last segment though. This is what you know what I'm saying? This is where we go ahead and turn up. We turn up a little bit. We go ahead and pop our shit. We're gonna start it off with Jay though. We're gonna start it off with Jay. We're gonna get into the label players of the week. We got Jay Sports. How you want to introduce your player of the week, man? How you want to talk about it? How you want to do this?
hey man, it's been a lot of talk, and I'll say whether you just a strictly NBA fan or you do divvy into college basketball, you understand that the top three in this draft has been hyped up a lot, and I feel like this is the guy who's been constantly pushed into that third slot, even though I think he's just as talented as the other two guys. Cameron Boozer. That's my guy for the day.
Yeah, he just really do the.
Hey, shout out to Cameron Boozer, man. He's been playing excellent right now. I think in his last 5 games, he's averaging 27 points, 11 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Like he's leading his team in assists, leading his team in rebound, and leading his team in scoring. You don't really find too many people who are doing that, especially not at the college level. He's got Duke at undefeated right now. You know, they looking amazing. I think they're 11-0, if I'm not mistaken. Third in the country. So shout out to Cameron Boozer. Like I said, it's a three-headed dragon when it comes to that next year's draft. And I think he's been overlooked because of the other two guys are so good and the league is trending towards buckets and those other two guys get buckets. But this is another guy that I want to, I think everyone should be on notice for. So
Yeah, man. Yeah, for the season, he's averaging 22.7 points per game, 10.2 rebounds per game, 3.7 assists a game. The Duke looking real nice out there, and they pretty much play through him. He looked like another version of Zion, basically. So we basically,
yeah,
it's
he
like
like the hub for the offense. Like I said, he leading their team in assists, and you don't find that too much at the college level for a big. So
right.
yeah, he playing excellent right now.
I got
I
a
think
question.
people just really kind of just people like thing with him though is he gonna be able to do it at the next level? Like his creation is not so much like the AJ DeBansas or the Darren Petersons. Like he don't have that creation. It's more like bully ball almost. Like he getting in certain spots and kind of just going up. But when you get to that next level, you're gonna have guys the same size as you or bigger. So it's like that's kind of I think the question with him. But he get it done though. So it's like I don't think we're like when it comes to players like that, you can't overthink it. You know, I do
Yeah,
think a lot of like scouts and everybody like overthink that type of stuff.
Yeah,
Like it's no way you're not telling me he can't be the number one pick. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more
yeah,
so
right.
about I feel like it's more so about the team at the time that's who has the number one pick. But I don't think
absolutely.
teams should like overthink him. Like you
Facts.
can't he's putting up 27 and 11 in his past 5 games. Like you're
And
not telling me he's not a top 3 pick.
and
I
I
got.
will say with that too. Go ahead, no, go ahead, Reese. I'm sure
I
you got a
was,
good
I was
question.
just, I was just gonna say I got a controversial question specifically only for you though, Jay.
Okay, okay.
Is he better than his pops?
Is he better than his pops?
That's a tough one. Pops was an all star. Pops is a
I was
legendary
about to
Duke
say
player.
Pops is an all-star. Like I know he get overlooked because
The,
the end of his career with the Bulls didn't really look as great as they
he was
had
a
hoped it
hooper
would.
for them too though on the low.
He was a hooper, but
Yeah,
like
he was getting to it for sure.
I feel like once they got him out of there, their identity looks a lot like clean. I feel like defensively, especially so. But he was definitely a dog. I think he is absolutely though. His potential is way high. He's more athletic than Carlos. I don't know if y'all know he can actually knock that three ball down. He's shooting
Yeah,
better
he
than
can.
AJ.
Yeah,
Even though AJ is projected as a scorer, right now Cameron's shooting better than him on more threes a game. Man, I'm throwing that out there, not to shit on AJ because I do think AJ a dog, but
gotta
like
get that.
I feel like he's over. Like Dad said, people look at him as like bully ball, but a guy who's 6'9", 6'10", and can stretch the floor, but also play bully ball like inside out, like that's what we want out of our bigs nowadays in the NBA.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I think his potential is definitely way higher than his pops.
That's tough. I ain't gonna lie. That's a controversial one. His pop, but like I said, pops was a killer. That's a 17-10 guy for his career. So if you can, even if you can replicate a small piece of that, you still had you having a legendary career in the NBA. You're gonna be here for a while. So we can go ahead and move on. No, it's time for the real labor player of the week, nigga. The real labor player, the real YN that should be in the NBA right now. How raw he is. Fuck is you talk about? One of the only
NBA?
in the NBA right now. That nigga should be on the G League Ignite. Fuck the damn high school.
Gonna go through the same shit Jock going through.
Ain't nobody trying to hear that shit, man. Wait your turn, fuck nigga. Wait your turn. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. It's Tyran Stokes, man. Since we showing love to the YNs, nigga, we gonna talk about a 5-star recruit at a public high school. We ain't seen this shit in years. Everybody usually goes the prep school route, the stacked roster route. Man, he teamed up with Jamal Crawford's son, JJ Crawford, and they been out there fucking niggas up like a motherfucker out there in Seattle. Turning Seattle basketball back into the fun and exciting basketball that we want to see. So I just got to shout out my young boy, Tyran Stokes. He had 52 and 11 in a crazy game against a prep school out there in Seattle. Like I said, man, we ain't seen a 5-star recruit go to a public school and have this type of energy in a while. So it's refreshing to see that, you know, he's taking that leap as a pioneer to get back to the roots of what we loved high school basketball to be, man. Like, a lot of people kind of fell back once things turned into, I guess, an NIL bag, or this school doing that, this school got this sponsor, or I'm signed with Adidas, I can't go to your school because y'all wear Nikes. Like, all that shit, man, fuck all that shit. We going to the trenches, we gonna hoop, and we gonna bust everybody ass. All right. So shout out Tyran.
Before you move on too, I just want to say, if anybody because we all grew up watching that real high school ball is life type of era.
Yeah.
Well, we watching Lonzo, we watching Zion, we watching some of those guys like really hoop. If you watch that game that Reese was talking about, that 52 piece against that team, they heckling him the whole game. Like that really give you those vibes. I checked that out the other day, and it definitely gave me flashbacks to that era. So go check that out for sure.
Yeah, he got motherfuckers tuned in. We ain't seen this much hype, but around a high school, public school team probably since like Mikey Williams at Ysidro. Like,
right.
We ain't seen that shit in a minute. So I'm fucking with him and JJ Crawford. Shout out JJ Crawford as well. That's another hooper. But we can go ahead and move on to the next label player of the week. We're gonna slide it off to DB the label. Desmond, man, how you want to introduce your player, man? Who you got for your label player of the week?
My label player of the week is Bam. Honestly, my label been ass. I ain't even gonna lie. My label been ass this week, y'all. I ain't even sit up here in front of my shit, but I did pick Bam. I think Bam been playing pretty solid. Outside of his 3-point shooting in his last 5 been pretty terrible, but I think he's giving you like 18 points, 9 boards, a couple assists, and a steal and a block. So I feel like that's what you pretty much get from Bam throughout the season. It's pretty consistent with his numbers, so I'm going with Bam. But overall, my label ain't been playing too well. So
yeah, shout out Bam, man. Just to give you I guess, some grace. The Miami Heat has been hooping. They on a 5-game losing streak, but he's the only shining star on that team recently. So shout out Bam. We can go ahead and move on next, man. Hey Boogie, man, we going to you next, man. How you want to go ahead, introduce your label player of the week? We showing love to the young motherfuckers today. So who you got for your label player of the week, gang?
Label player of the week is Con Canople, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He is hooping. It's sad. I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna go JB. He hooping too. But Con is hooping. He's averaging 19 right now. The best scorer in the rookies right now in the Rays. Believe he's true shooting percentage something like 55 right now or something crazy shit like that.
Nah, he's showing his ass.
Yeah, he's showing his ass, bro. Like for real.
Man,
Coop just had like 40.
Bro, fuck Coop. Fuck Coop. We talking about Con. Con is averaging.
We ain't talking about him right now.
In his last 5.
We know what bro over there doing. Shout out him though.
I think Con came into the league as, I think we all thought he'd be pretty polished because he looked very polished at Duke, but I don't think I at least me personally, I didn't expect him to be averaging these type of numbers.
Yeah, in the last
just
5.
like how we said last video too, his not really like just catch and shoot either. He got you feel me? It's real pro like.
I told y'all he's showing LaMelo how to be a real basketball player, bro. That's real hoops
and
right
another
there,
thing
bro.
I was gonna say when I introduced him, I'm glad you said that, Dez. He took over the franchise. LaMelo,
Yeah.
We
Get the
doing
fuck
it.
on, LaMelo.
Give me the
It's
key.
We
over
want
with.
real hoops. Con
Yeah.
Knipple and Sion James is in the
Bro,
building.
What they talking
Thing,
about?
you
These
know?
niggas just don't know. They don't know, Brian.
Them Duke boys pulled
Brian,
up.
they don't know,
Sion and
Brian.
Con
They don't
Knipple,
even worry
man.
about it.
Real hoops right there.
They don't know.
LaMelo,
Right.
get the fuck on.
They don't know
Yeah,
what.
it's over with, man.
Brian,
All
bro.
that flat shit,
Ball
man.
brothers.
We
What
tired of
Lonzo
seeing
with?
that, bro. This not ballers life.
Brian, they don't know.
It's
hoops,
over
bro.
with. This
It's
is
all
the
good.
NBA. I
Brian,
don't got time for all that flashy shit, bro. Get a bucket, nigga.
bro. And the last 5, this white boy is averaging 22, 4, and 5. Man, shout out him. He did. Speaking of the Cavs, when we were talking about the Cavs, that's one of them weak ass teams they lost to on the back of Con. So I shout out Con. Yeah, he did.
One of them games he shot like some shit like 24 and shot some shit like 12.
He gave the Bulls work a couple games ago, like real work.
Bro,
Yeah,
crazy, bro.
Yeah, shout out Con Canupa, bro. We gonna end it off with last but never least, man. Von Inc. Free Von Inc. Go ahead and pop your shit, man. Cause we showing love to the YNs today. We showing love to the young motherfuckers in general.
YNs today. So respectfully for my label player of the week, I got the real #1 draft pick, AJ DeBonster, man. You know,
Okay.
BYU's finest, giving you 21, 7, and 3 a night with a steal and a half, shooting about 56% from the field, 32 from 3, 74 from the stripe. You know, with a big performance and a big win over Clemson, who's a tough team right now, for 28, 9, and 6. You feel me? Like, and shout out Richie Saunders and Cable Cater, really like known for BYU, but AJ the head of that snake, and it shows if you watching the game. Like the first 20 minutes, I would say first half, because college is half. First half, AJ really take on that team, and you realize, oh damn, it was just 47-47. Now it's 80-47. Like, damn, what the fuck just happened? Realize that's AJ.
Yeah,
AJ did that.
Yeah,
Like, that's AJ shit. But also, I will say, even though BYU's schedule isn't the toughest right now, but next year we will still see AJ flourish and hoop when he go against guys like Arizona, Iowa State, Texas Tech.
Yeah, he look forward to the matchups.
You feel me? And he really got that dog in him. And shout out Cam. He does not fucking with AJ though. You feel me? Like, he ain't got pops behind him. He just get this shit out the mud. I'm just saying.
Hey, I would say, Von, Cameron Booze's numbers look better across the board. Like, there's not a single statistical category that AJ is outperforming him. I'm talking strike. I'm talking from 3.
Cam on the most highly touted college basketball team we've ever you feel me? Like, he ain't on BYU doing that.
While we on this college topic, I ain't gonna lie, Michael Brown, bro, don't start scaring me, bro. Don't start getting injured. We ain't got time for that shit, bro.
That's for Darren Peterson. Like, I can't even pop shit about Darren Peterson because he been hurt. You know what I'm saying? He been sitting out a lot, man.
Bro. You been out for I believe only a week or 2. Hey, bro, it's time to get back. You feel me? We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
You got anything else to say about AJ though?
Yeah, in all seriousness, shout out AJ. That's the late player of the week, and I hope he continue to hoop for real.
Yeah, 2025, 2026. That's 21, 7, and 5, and BYU is a top 10 team, which doesn't really happen often. It doesn't happen often with them. So shout out BYU, shout out Free Von Inc., and shout out AJ. And that about wraps up this video. Starting 5 podcast. Yes, sir. Pick and roll episode. What is it? Number 4. I think there's 4 now. It's 4 now. So yeah. Yes, sir. We'll see y'all boys next week, man. We up out of here, man.